G'day everyone, welcome back. Picked up these wheels for really cheap off Marketplace. Thought it would be a good opportunity to have a look at fixing them up and settling them on. You can see they're fairly rotten looking wheels on the back side as well. But we'll turn them from that into something like that. With very minimal tools and fairly quickly. So the tools you need, pack of sanding sheets. I think that was like $8 from Bunnings. A couple of different spray cans. So first of all you're going to need some primer, some flat black, and then some clear coat. I could only find gloss clear. But don't know, should do the trick. You might want a bit of cardboard as well, just to cover up the wheel as you do it. This wheel won't matter so much because as you can see it's pretty bold. We also want a drill with various wire brushes and an angle grinder or some other way of getting some of the more deep scratches out. So this one's not too bad, doesn't have a lot of deep scratches, but does have a fair bit of pitting. This wheel did have quite a fair few deep scratches like in here as well. And they came out pretty well just by giving me a quick once over with the sanding disc. Let's get into it. Alright, first things first, I'm going to try and get these wheel weights off. I don't know how easy this is, but I'm just going to pry it off with a screwdriver. And of course, I didn't see it wasn't filming. So just a bit of leverage, pried those off. Pretty simple stuff. Alright, so looking at the backside, a fair few spider webs and stuff from them sitting around. Get rid of that stuff. And we'll go straight into using a wire wheel to get a lot of this scum off. These wire brushes, the set for, I think there's 5 in the set from Bunnings, Craft Right brand, I think are $15–20. We'll continue with that, get all of it done. You can see a fair bit of difference there, stuff that I have done and stuff that I haven't. The pitting will come off when we give it a good sanding. We can do that with the grinder with the sanding disc, or we can do that with the sanding pads. Well, here's a good opportunity to show you getting these wheel weights off. Get your screwdriver underneath them, a little bit of leverage. And they come right off. Perfect. So if you're getting into these tight spaces, we'll swap to a much smaller wire wheel. That'll help us get into these little cracks and crevices and be able to get through, clean up all that rust. I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, there you go. So we've cleaned off all the rust and grime and stuff from in there. finish off the rest of the wheel on the inside, and then we'll move into some flapper disc. Alright, and this is what it looks like all done. That's just with the wire brush. For all this scum, it feels fairly flat, but just to make it look a bit nicer and turn up a bit nicer, we will get the sanding disc out on the angle grinder and try and remove some of that scuff look. Once we put some primer on, it will look a lot better. Okay, I just wanted to show you this. This is as it was. This is with angle grinder. Took more off than I was really hoping, and that's just with a 40 grit flapper disc. And this is with a 40 grit sandpaper pad. So I might just continue with sandpaper pad, keep going. Obviously get the lip and all the cracks and crevices, and we'll do it that way instead of this, which looks pretty gross and probably taking off more than we need to. Okay, so there we go. That's it all done with the sandpaper. Just some 40 grit. Only took 3 or 4 minutes. It's not the best thing in the world, but this is doing things poorly. Alright, and likewise with the top. We use the wire brush to get a lot of this peeling paint off. Okay, so as you can see, that's much tidier. A lot of that rust, grime, paint stuff has come off. Now what we're going to do is use some of this primer. That's the grey primer. Come on. Just the fiddly bits. This is the cheapest one. We're going to go around, spray as much as we can. Fairly light coat to start with, and then a more liberal coat. We'll do the front and the back. Let that dry, and then we'll get into some paint. As I said, I'm not too worried about this tyre. It's going to need to be replaced anyway. But the more we can keep off the tyre, the better. Let that dry for a few minutes, and then we'll give it another coat. Alright, the front face is mostly dry. We'll carry on with the back. Alright, here's the fairly finished product from primer in the sun. Looking pretty good. That's that finished one. And here's the underside. Looking really good. I won't paint in the underside, there's no real need. The primer will do its job in protecting it for the time being. We'll let this dry for a couple of hours, make sure it's really dry, not any wet spots or not tacky or anything like that, and then we'll give it a go with the black. Okay, that wheel's been in the sun for a few minutes. It's really nice and dry. No tacky spots or anything. Feels really nice. So we'll give it a go with the black. Again, this is the Fiddly Bits flat black. Let it sit in the sun as well for a few minutes before shaking it. That really helps to thin out the paint. Give you a close look of what I'm doing. Don't know if the light's good enough in here. Just going over those corners, getting in all the cracks and crevices. Just using this cardboard to get a lot of that vapor away. Don't know if it does anything, but it certainly makes it nicer to be around. Alright, we'll let that one sit in the sun, dry off. We'll probably have some spots to touch up, but after that it's just putting on some clear coat. Okay, well, all the wheels are done in the black. I haven't put the clear coat on because it's a gloss clear coat with a matte black paint, so I don't think it would look fantastic. This is probably the worst of the lot in terms of the wheels. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but there's still some marks. You can see some flaking of where the worst of that rust was, but in reality, especially from afar, you definitely don't notice. They all look pretty good. So for, I think it was about $40 in paint and some scuff pads and wire wheels and that sort of thing. I'll put the exact total up on the screen, but for such a cheap job, it certainly came out really good. Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you on the next one.